Hi guys, this sleek looking keyboard is the Iqunix EZ63 and is said to be the fastest keyboard currently in terms of latency. This was tested at Computex by Wooting, and also there has been some very accurate looking tests made by some Chinese reviewers. The results of these tests have been circulating over the internet and shared on the Iqunix Discord, but I won't be speaking much about those since I haven't verified the results myself. The build of this board is very interesting, and the fully aluminum case consists of a bunch of pieces that are screwed together. The sides of this board are pretty much open, so you can see the PCB sandwich in there. When you get this board, it is also advisable to calibrate the case by opening the 8 screws a little, pushing the board slightly on the desk you are gonna use it in, and then tightening the screws one by one. I found that the best way of getting the least amount of case wobble was by tightening the top screws first and then the bottom ones. And the usual way of doing crisscross introduced some very bad wobbliness on my desk. Of course, if the board doesn't wobble out of the box, this step is not needed. I also want to point out that the included hex key is nearly an ornament and should not be used to tighten anything. This one was made from probably the softest metal ever existed, and I can bend it with my fingers, so use your own if you need to open the screws a bit. The other stuff you get with the board is great, however, and the key puller and the brush they have seem very nice. Now you also get a travel case and a coiled cable when you order either the EZ60 or EZ63, but sadly I ordered like 2 days before they made this announcement, which was a bit unfortunate. The switches they use are the Gateron Star Rail magnetic switches with an operating force of 40 gram force and a travel distance of 4 millimeters. There is also an option of getting this with the Gateron Jades for a bit more money, but that has not been restocking as frequently. Luckily, you get a pack of 5 Jade switches included with the board, so you can feel if you are missing anything. I put them on my WASD and shift like they suggest you to do, and they sure feel great. The star rails feel great as well, but coming from a Lecker 45, the force is noticeably more. The star rails and the Jades both have the dual rail system that reduces key wobble, but the differences are that the Jades have a closed bottom, have an operating force of 30 gram force, and the travel distance is 3.5 millimeters. Does it feel weird having keys with 2 different travel distances on the keyboard at the same time? At first a little, but really quickly I forgot that it was even a thing. Yeah, the board has a lot of foam in it, and they use something called an eSports gasket mount to make the typing feel great on this, and it really does. The open structure of the case just reduces some areas of typing sounds I typically enjoy, but this is honestly a really nice feeling keyboard to type on. So here is a quick sound test. But then let's talk about the performance. So this board is one of the only true 8K polling keyboards currently, and no doubt latency wise it is the fastest. What true 8K polling means is that they are polling and scanning at 8000 Hz, so they get pretty much the lowest latency numbers this way. They also have an insanely low rapid trigger sensitivity of 0.05 millimeters, and it seems to actually be the case here. I tried the sensitivities on all ranges of the rapid trigger, and every time I pretty much could actually feel the difference, so that tells me that the setting actually works and it is very accurate to dial in. The driver software of the Iqunix is not the most user-friendly yet, and it is still being improved upon, but here is how I set up mine. So I head over to the performance tab and choose my WASD keys. Then I set my actuation distance to my liking. The actuation distance is very accurate on this board since it has such low dead zones, so I found the lowest setting a bit too quick, so I usually set this to 0.4 millimeters on my WASD. Then I currently like my rapid trigger to be at the lowest setting, so for the ASD WSD, I set it at 0.05 millimeters for both press and release. Then I like to have some bottom safety zone, so I put it at 0.1 millimeters. If this is too low, then you can start to have some weird deactivations, so therefore I choose to always have some bottom dead zone. Other keys, I have the rapid trigger on, but not at the lowest setting, are on my shift, and my interact key, which is F. Shift is just for reducing dead slides, since for some reason it helps me in Apex, and the interact key is just for faster looting in Apex. With the newest firmware, they also introduced SOCD beta, which is not yet customizable but works pretty nicely for the A and D keys it has been locked to. Do note that if you use that, it can be considered cheating, you naughty. You can toggle it on or off with the function key and A, and it really makes your strafing to be very erratic, depending on the game of course. On Apex this messes up with many of the movement mechanics for me, and it makes sideways super glides and some lurching based stuff harder to do, so I keep it off. But yeah, I like this keyboard a lot, and if you care about getting the lowest latency possible on your keyboard, then this is a very good choice. It of course lacks some customizability, and you are pretty much locked into this one particular case here, but I think this keyboard looks very nice out of the box, so I have no interest in modding this. The typing wheel is also very nice out of the box, which is always a plus even though it is mainly a gaming performance focused keyboard. The price of it is $179 for both the EZ60 and EZ63 layouts with the star rail keys, and currently they don't even show the Jade variant there, so I don't know how much more it was. But yeah, in terms of pure performance, the Iqunix EZ60 and EZ63 are pretty much the only serious Wooting competitors, alongside with the HM66 keyboard. But feature wise and UI wise, the software side is still a bit lacking. They are continuously working on it, however, and I'm pretty excited to see what the final version is gonna look like. But that is it for this video. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Goodbye.